When graphing a piecewise defined function, we first need to take into consideration the graphs of the two pieces that are being considered. Let's start by looking at the full graph of y is equal to x plus 1 and the full graph of y is equal to x squared. Looking at these graphs, we'll decide what portion of the graph is going to be used in finding the graph of the piecewise defined function. So starting with y is equal to x plus 1, this graph has a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of 1. So we'll just graph a couple of ordered pairs and connect the dots. Let's notice that this ordered pair here is the ordered pair 1, 2. Now let's graph the function x squared. This is a parabola that's opening up with the minimum value at the origin, but let's also make note of this ordered pair, which is the ordered pair 1, 1. Now the reason why we're focusing on the x value 1 is because that is the place where we have transition in our piecewise defined function. So on the graph of x plus 1, we're going to consider the x values that are greater than or equal to 1, which are the x values in this region, and that's the portion of the graph that we want to grab from the first piece. So we're going to include the x value 1 and any ordered pair that has an x value that's greater than 1 on this graph. So we literally just copy paste that piece onto our function. And notice that this is a closed circle at the x value 1 because when x is equal to 1, we're going to grab the ordered pair from this graph. And so it's included in this piece. Now let's look at the second graph. On the graph of x squared, we're going to look at the x values that are less than but not equal to 1. So those are the x values that are down here. And the portion of this graph that has x values less than but not equal to 1 start at this ordered pair, but this time we're not going to include it. And all of these ordered pairs on this second graph have x coordinates that are less than 1. So we're going to copy paste that portion of the x squared graph with an open circle at 1, 1, and then all of the ordered pairs that have x values less than 1 are pulled from the x squared graph. Let's label this ordered pair as well so that our final answer graph is nice and clear. Notice this final answer graph does pass the vertical line test, as it should, because a piecewise defined function is a function and therefore it must pass the vertical line test.